Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brums here coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling tune-up Tuesday. It is Tuesday, isn't it? Yes, it is. Sorry, totally forgot what day I was on. So tonight we are doing a very different Facebook Live. I have the huge honor and privilege of having an incredible guest for you guys tonight. Her name is Deborah Thorne. She is the information diva. She's an award-winning, internationally known author, coach, trainer, and speaker. Her brands include the Leverage Conference for speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs. And stay tuned because you're going to learn more about that. 30 ways to make money while you sleep. Oh, that sounds like a good one. How to get your book done now. Yeah, I got a few of those that need to get done. These women mean business, trade explorations, and entrepreneurial women of faith. Deborah, I can't thank you enough for coming on with us this evening. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Helen. And you know, it is my honor and my privilege to hang out with you. I get to hang out with you, have some fun, and other people get to listen. Good deal.
That sounds like a good plan. I've even got the timer on because I know that we can talk for a long time.
Yes, okay.
If you would like to leave comments throughout with questions and that for Deborah as we're going through this evening, we're only going to be on here about 20 minutes. Then please make sure if you're on Facebook to click the little button to give StreamYard permission to show your comments. Otherwise, we won't see them. So, Deborah, we've got this big thing coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's called the Leverage Conference. But before we get to what that's about, what is about leverage that can you share with our audience about leverage? What is it? Because some people don't
Okay,
know what it is.
let's do it the way we define it. We define leverage as networking plus collaboration equals opportunity, and that's leverage. Because all of us know what we do, we can do it. But if I get together with another person, like you and I get together, we can create this podcast. Alone, it doesn't work so well, but lots of opportunities. And what we want people to do is to learn to create opportunities, and let's all just go for it.
Oh, I love that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And you're talking about opportunities. So people can create opportunities in all sorts of different ways. What are some of the creative ways that they can do that with creating like content is a good way to create opportunities, isn't it?
Oh, well, for instance, we're podcasting together. That's an opportunity. And really and truly, what I try to encourage people to realize is when you're putting together a podcast, especially if it's a video, you have the ability to create a television show. It is TV. It's the exact same thing. Uh, for instance, my YouTube channel is called the Information Diva Network because each part of each playlist is a different series of shows, if you will. What I really want to encourage people, and I work primarily with women, so let me be clear, ladies, think about what it is you like, you want to enjoy, you want to do, and how do you create that? Using technology that we have available to us now means we can do anything. You can create a book, you can create a CD, you can create, well, we don't do CDs anymore, Deb, MP3, but you can do a file, you can do movies, if you can create it in your mind, we have technology easy enough to create it. That's where the opportunities come. And when, let's say, you don't really know how to do it, but if you collaborate with someone who knows the technology piece and you know the content piece, that's what we're talking about. How do you make this happen in real time now based on what we have available?
I love that. And speaking of content, why is it important that people come up with content for when they're posting on these different forms of social media, their websites, their podcasts, that sort of thing? Why is that important?
Because that's what makes you an authority. That's what makes you stand out from people. That's what helps people to know who you are and what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, and why I should engage with you. You know, there's a lot now, just like we're creating content, there's a lot of content noise out there, a lot of stuff going on. And we all know when we're scrolling by on social media, something catches our eye and we stop. Like I stop for babies. Any babies? Oh, I'm going to stop and look because I think babies are wonderful. Babies make me smile. But what else makes people stop and pay attention? And so when you're talking about no matter what you're doing, you do a genealogy, you're becoming an expert. You're viewed as an expert because you do a show about genealogy.
Hmm.
Everybody can't do it, you know? And so, what if there are other shows out there? Yours is different. The way you do things is different. And I encourage everybody, if you haven't done it, you need to write a book. And that's simple now with technology. I mean, there's just so much we can do.
So, writing a book, yes, I have several of those that need to get done.
Okay, well, I have a system that helps you get it done in 90 days or less. Okay. I always laugh. My star client, if you will, wrote a book in 7 days. I don't encourage anyone to do that because it made her a little cuckoo, made me a lot cuckoo, but she had her why was big enough to get it done, and she did. And so, use a step by step process, get it done. You're not writing War and Peace, and you're not going to be a Pulitzer Prize winner. Okay, not first time out anyway. But if you get the book out again, it makes you an authority. And people will invite you places that you normally won't get invited to because you have a book.
It's like an oversized business card, too, if you want to give it away.
Fancy, I call it a fancy business card. And
I
the
like that one.
system I use, the books cost you just a couple of bucks, so you can afford to give them away.
I like that. I like that. Now, one of the things that you have is that you say that you're a CEO, not a CEO. So, would you like to tell us the difference between a CEO and a
Oh,
CEO?
absolutely. CEOs, well, first of all, it stands for something: successful, healthy, enlightened, entrepreneurial overachiever. And generally, it's men who ask me, what's the difference between, women doing business and men doing business? Because I encourage women to do business like a woman, not like a man, CEO, not CEO. And what I always point out to them is if a woman needs to bring her child, her small child or baby to my business meeting, she's more than welcome to do so because I know that that tells me that her family is important to her and so is her business. So she gets brownie points for that. And whoever's not writing is the one that's going to hold the baby. And then I smile at the gentleman and I say, so can a woman bring her baby to your meeting? And the answer is, of course not. But the best thing is, I actually saw this in action. I was watching our local news. It's called Hyper Local, so it's directly for the area around us. And they were interviewing the mayor of a small town near Los Angeles. And she had, young mother, she had her baby's crib in her office. And the baby's about 7, 8 months old. And she's sitting on her lap, and the anchor is interviewing her and they're having a great conversation. And then the baby drops the toy she was playing with. Without missing a beat, the news interviewer bent down, picked up the toy. But now, while she's bending, picking up the toy, that means that the TV screen is totally blank. And in television, we don't do a blank screen. And it was blank for a few seconds because she had to bend down,
Hmm.
get it, hand it to the child, get the child settled, who had never really, she didn't put up a fuss at all. She was glad to have her toy back. And then she came back and she said, well, that's what happens with live TV. The baby had a need and we took care of the need. And I went, yes, that's
Love
women
that.
doing business like a woman. Okay. Men would have been all flustered in the screen is, different, different way they'd handle it. So that's what that's about. And I was like so pleased to see that happen in real time on real TV.
That's awesome. I remember seeing a video clip just the other day on one of those things. I think it was Kelly Clarkson played it. It was something that had gone viral where a girl couldn't go to her class in college because her babysitter was not available. And the professor, who was a guy, turned around and says, bring the kid in. And he in this video of him standing at the front of the class holding her baby while he's teaching the class.
That's a video that's been around a little while, but it is so wonderful because that's how a lot of things happen. You're allowing the mother to go to school and not have her school interrupted as she does her best to be the best mother she can be. But you're also teaching that child that there's a community that supports you and wants to see your mother do well and thereby see you do well. And that mother knows now that there's no excuse for not finishing her education. This is what she wants to do, and there are people willing to help her. And that's what I strive for. That's what's important to me. And to help women understand that we help each other in that kind of way, because somebody in the class could have held the baby too. Okay,
Mhm.
there are lots of opportunities, and we want to be that for each other. Having one queen straighten the crown of another queen without ever talking about it. We just
I
do it
love that.
automatically.
Yeah, I love that. Now, there's another question that I wanted to ask you because I know it's very important to you. Is why is it important to show your customers appreciation?
Aha, because the main reason people don't stick with you is that they perceive you don't care. And so we have to let people, Janet Jackson said, "What have you done for me lately?" And too often I say to people, so how do you show appreciation, or what do you do for your customers? How do you say thank you? And the common answer I get is I send them a discount on their next purchase. I said, and that's thank you? Doesn't sound
It,
very thank you ish to me. Okay. And having people learn to look at that a different way. And one of the things I really try to do as the information diva is to show people that I care, both in my actions as we go through the process, but that there are some, extra things we do. As you know, we do cards and gifts and things to let people know that we really care about them.
I love that. And if you show appreciation to clients, they're going to come back over and over again, and they're going to bring other people with them too.
They'll
So
tell people because they're surprised because nobody is doing it. Oh, look what I got in the mail. And then they go on and tell that story. And especially when you work hard as I do to connect and make sure it connects to what we're doing or what we're experiencing so that they have a great customer experience. That's my number one. I do what I do. I like doing it. I consider myself a better than good, an excellent coach, trainer, speaker. Okay. However, the most important thing is for my clients to have a good customer experience.
and what impact would that have on the bottom line if you showed your customers a good customer experience?
They stick around longer. And one of the things that I encourage everyone to do, if you don't know already, figure out what is the lifetime value of a customer. With my clients, they stick around. When people come on my coaching programs, for instance, they're a minimum of 6 months. Okay, so I know six times whatever the monthly amount is, but I also know from experience that they do the first 6 months and they generally extend. And the reason they're extending is that they've reached a goal. We reached the goal that they wanted usually early on, and we're setting new goals and they see new possibilities. And if I stick around with you another 6 months or a year, what is possible? Well, let's talk about what's possible. So people tend to stick around with me 2 to 3 years. That's the value. So if I can show them I show them quality education. I show them quality. They're reaching goals and they're seeing it because we talk about it. But then I try to be nice to them at the same time. It helps them to want to say, "Oh, if you're looking for a coach, if you're looking for a trainer, see the information diva."
Love that. Love that. Now, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, we've got this thing about this event that you've got coming up called the Leverage Conference, which is November 18th to the 20th, which is a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all day, both days, all day, all 3 days. Can't say both days. There's three of them.
No, it's three of them.
So, what is the Leverage Conference all about, and who would be a good candidate to come to the Leverage Conference?
Okay, well, the full title of it is the Leverage Conference for Speakers, Authors, and Entrepreneurs. So any speaker, author, or entrepreneur needs to come by, particularly a woman. And this year, this is our third year, so really pleased that we've continued to grow. This year, we start with how to's. We have people teaching how to do basic skills because oftentimes people go to a conference or a webinar and someone is talking about creating content, but nobody comes back and shows you how to do it. Nobody comes back. They say, well, everybody needs to be doing Facebook Live. But if you don't know how to do it, you're already shut out. So we've got people teaching you how to. We also have a day, our Saturday is a day of masters. And these are people who are generating 6 and 7 figures doing what they do. This is how they make their money. They make real money, and they're there sharing some of the tips that they do. It is not a sales fest. We want people to understand that. Nothing is sold from the main stage. There, you have an opportunity to meet and greet the presenters at a later time during the event. We go all day, every day. We start early now because, when we want to go global, you have to take into consideration other people's time schedules. And last year, we had attendees from all across the United States, so our 3 time zones. We had the people from Canada, we had people from the UK, people from the Philippines, and the Bahamas. So
Nice.
That's what global looks like. So when people ask me, oh, is this virtual? It is not only virtual, it will always be virtual so that we can reach the globe.
I love that. So it's all going to be on Zoom, which is
Yes.
nice because people can do it from the comfort of their own home. So
Yes.
they don't have to get in a car and go anywhere. They don't have to worry about purchasing and staying in hotel rooms, rooming with somebody they don't know, and
Oh
finding
my
a
goodness.
seat.
And with
And
what's happening with airline tickets,
yeah,
where you got the ticket you bought months in advance and they're having problems and they shut down the flights. Oh, yeah. We're avoiding all of that. And my main thing, remember, we just talked about showing customers appreciation. I want to help you forget that you're watching a Zoom. We take it just as seriously. And just like, people say, well, I can't sit that long. If you went to a live conference in a hotel, you may not sit the whole time. You get up, you take a walk, you go
hmm
meet other people. We work hard to put those experiences, make those experiences available to you. You get to meet some other people. Maybe the particular topic isn't one you want. You take a rest and come back and pick up a topic that is better for you.
I love that. So who are some of the? Are you allowed to say who some of the speakers are that are going to be on?
Well, you know what? I can really say who the announcer is. I know I can
Oh,
say
I wonder who
that.
that is.
I wonder who that is. If you are in the habit of hearing this lovely voice, you'll want to come by the Leverage Conference because Helen Brahms is our announcer. She will be announcing the different people. And you know how sparkly she is. So I'm looking forward to it because people will hear the energy. But, some of the speakers are master speakers. Donna Smith Bellinger, Casey Eberhard, oh my goodness, Karen McNamara. Karen McNamara has this thing I really want people to hear. She talks about giving your message to the 5 generations that are living now. Okay. And each one, you speak to them differently. Okay. When I heard her speak the first time, she was explaining why these generations were different, what made them view life the way they do. And you go, oh, that makes sense. And then set about to sell a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to the different generations because you present it differently. And the first time I heard her, I was like, oh my goodness, she's got to come to the conference because everybody will tell you, oh, I want millennials to, to buy my widget or whatever. And what many of us mean by that is we want to teach millennials to do things our way, that they don't understand. We'll just school them. Well, they don't want to be schooled. They're fine. What we have to do is learn to present to them in a way that they're open to it. So those are the masters. And then we have a bunch of how-tos. Our how-tos, not so much the speakers, but the topics: how to do podcasting the traditional way, how to do podcasting with StreamYard, how to write blogs, all these different things that we're told to do in creating things, how to, have the voice that people need to hear in order to go forward are really important. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. I can't wait for Saturday. And I especially want to hear, was it Karen you said that did the generations?
Karen, oh my goodness, the generations,
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely awesome.
genealogist, hello.
Hello, okay. And then when you see how she's broken down why it is it has, I'm not going to give her speech away because I can't anyway, but it has to do with what were the events that happened between the ages of 8 and 18. And that's what shaped their thoughts and processes. And she's got to work, and you go, oh my goodness, she's right. It's like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing her again. Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that because in my job, I get to talk to lots of different generations. So being
Well,
able to craft my messages towards those different generations to get them interested in connecting their past and historical events that are in there. Like today, I was researching this morning, I was researching for a client this morning and discovered that her second great grandfather and her great grandfather and her great grand uncle, who was the great grandfather's brother, the second great grandfather was a train engineer. So he drove the
okay.
steam trains and stuff. They were the first ones to go through a tunnel that had just opened and
Oh,
deliver
okay.
gravel on the other side. So there was a whole newspaper article about that. So I sent that off and go, did you know about this? And she came back and says, no, I didn't. And then I said, oh, and did you also know that your fourth great grandfather fought in the American Revolution? So then all the girls in the family and all the guys in the family who are direct descendants of his can now join either the Daughters of the American Revolution or the Sons of the American Revolution. And
Wow.
so it's finding out, and now all of a sudden, she now has this personal connection to the American Revolution, and it's sort of like, well, I want to learn more about what he did when he was in the military at that time, and what
Hmm.
happened, and so it kind of brings those things alive. This train going through the tunnel. Well, what was so special about this tunnel? And why is it so important that they were able to be the first, or that they were the first ones to go through? He had his sons in there, and his sons were the first great grandfather, and his brother were only like 10 or 11 at the time that they
Right.
went through this tunnel. So it's finding things like that. And then another client has got these connections to these different historical figures that were around at the time
Mm.
and events that took place. So now she has an interest to go and learn more about them because of that time and place, at that time and place. So
Right.
I would love to, I can't wait to hear Karen talk so I can learn more about this generation talking thing, because it will help me immensely. And I'm just like, yay.
Yeah, well, that's it. It was like, oh my goodness, because it has to do with what happened during those formative years worldwide that creates how they think about things, how
Mm-hmm.
and she identifies five current generations that we have. And she goes through what each of the five are doing. It's like, oh my goodness, yes,
Yeah, I'll
definitely
have I'll have
a
lots of
plus.
paper and pens ready for that one.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I'm also
Okay.
excited to be the announcer too. It was such an honor to be asked to do that. And
Well, I like the bubbly, Last year, well, the last 2 years, this, like I said, is our third year. I've been the announcer, and it's like the whole idea is to grow this bigger and better each time. The first year we were 1 day. Okay, so I can do 1 day. Last year we were 2.5 days. Well, this year we're 3 full days. There are a lot of moving parts, and the idea was to bring on team, excuse me, so that we grow this. And that's what all of us have to do with our businesses. How are you going to scale it? What is your why for doing this? People who know me know that I work for two things: luxury and legacy. The Leverage Conference is a legacy piece for my grandson. I want to create this thing that in the next 5 years, I step away and it has a manager who goes forward and does these things that have been put into place. So I'm
so
excited
this
too.
is so this is going to be very exciting, because with hearing you talk about the Leverage Conference and what it's all about, the
Uh,
actual conference is what you're talking about in practice.
yes.
What you want your clients to learn about building their businesses and their legacy. They just need to look at what you're doing with the Leverage Conference, and it's a work in progress, and it's something they can actually physically see what's happening with that. So that
And it's
is.
the exact same thing. It has to do with me networking with people. Think about
Mm-hmm.
how we met originally
Yep.
at a networking event.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So, with that, and now we're collaborating. Each one of the speakers, I have some sort of collaborative relationship with. And that's how it's done. I encourage everybody there to look for places to create the opportunities. And I always say, and we'll say all through the conference, if you come up with something, invite me. I want to participate too. This is how we all grow and scale it. So, yes, there are tons of opportunities that can be created.
That's awesome. I am so excited about this. So this is the Leverage Conference for Speakers, Authors, and Entrepreneurs, happening on November the 18th to the 20th, 2021. And if you go to theleverageconference.info, you can find out more information about this amazing event that's going to take place. Um, I'm just bursting with excitement.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm getting pretty excited too because we're getting down to the
I mean, it's
wire.
only a
And
couple of weeks away. I was
yes, it is.
doing my schedule for the month, so I could see where I could fit my clients and stuff in. And all of a sudden, I'm putting in the Leverage Conference for the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th, and I'm like, ooh, that's only a couple of weeks
Yes,
away.
yes. Well, the good thing is we know that most people buy their tickets in the last 2 weeks. So it's like, come on, purchase your ticket now.
So yes, so please, if you want to come, it's going to be an incredible event. You've already heard from the Information Diva herself about this event and why she created it and what she's doing to grow it and turn it into a legacy. And that's what it's all about. It's leaving the legacy behind for the family members that come along behind us, those generations. And so just go to theleverageconference.info, and you can see it scrolling across the. This is where I get confused with my fingers, which one I'm supposed to be. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
It is going to be amazing. It is 3 days, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And if you go to the website, the leverageconference.info, All the details are there. And you'll get to, are the speaker profiles up yet?
The speaker profiles, I think it's a list of the speakers, because we want to say you got to come there and get to know them, but you'll get to see their faces. You'll get to see who's speaking when we have on it has the conference at a glance, so you can see what's happening each day. And, just it's going to be good. We worked really
Yeah,
hard to
I've seen
continue to
the
improve.
agenda, and it's going to be awesome.
Is that we also we talk on a topic that traditionally people don't talk on. Okay, so it's our thought leaders roundtable, and this year what we're talking about is the coronavirus and politics. Okay,
That will be interesting.
very interesting because everybody has a different opinion, and we have 5 women come on and share their experience and opinion. You cannot argue with someone's experience or their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, we learn more when we hear someone who does not share our view explain their view. And so that's why we do it. So we have an opportunity to kind of listen and hear the other side, and makes for a better world. And that's what we're after.
Yeah, different points of view are always good to hear from. So, because sometimes you've just got that one side look, and you don't know what it's like on the other side. When you hear what it's like on the other side, you're a little more understanding as to
And how they came to that, yeah, what in your life's experience brought you to that, because everyone is doing what they believe is best for them and their family, and we have to accept that. We don't have any of the arguing that men traditionally do, because we're not in competition. We just want to collaborate, and the best way to do it is to listen to someone.
Absolutely. Well, Deborah, thank you so much for coming on this evening. And thank you for spending this time with us. It's been greatly appreciated. If anybody has any more comments about this or wants to know more about the conference, go to the leverageconference.info. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. My hands need to be up. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Any last words of wisdom you'd like to impart on everybody before we close this out for the evening?
I just want to say thank you so very much for having me here. This has been fun. I learned something new from you always about genealogy. And it's like, oh, something new to look at. And I can't wait for you to hear Karen speak, because it's going to really add something to it. And your audience, I want to thank you for having me, and come check out the conference.
Excellent. Well, with that, everybody, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here early tomorrow morning for Winning Wednesday. Hei konera.